It's not my problem, it's our problem.
We're gonna become
communists.
no more food.
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily Reddit content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're jumping into r/LegbeardStories. We got a couple little one-offs here. Gotta keep them Legbeards flowing, you know. If I keep pushing them out, then maybe there will still be enough. You know, the jar keeps refilling or something like that. It's a theory that we're working on. I might sound like a little bit tired today because I totally passed out, took some antihistamines, but then my body woke me up and was like, hey, you gotta record a video. And I mean, the antihistamines really nothing to worry about. It wasn't like a severe allergic reaction, but it really is fitting with the channel. I found some old mayonnaise in the back of the fridge and I'm like, man, I'm gonna eat this anyways. Making myself a chicken sandwich. I needed some condiment. So I ate some week old mayonnaise and my body rejected that quite heartily. Holy God. So yeah, every time I tell y'all to be safe out there, I mean it. Don't eat week old mayonnaise. Oh, I'm dumb. So let's get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some Legbeard cringe. The night I met a Legbeard. Did you bang a Legbeard, bro? That's a reference to the Stealth Beard video. I think the very first one. You bang a Legbeard, bro? Just tell me about it, bro. Anyways, hello, ReddX. Hi, Viking King 3000. I found your channel through my sister and her husband. Oh, that's right, you guys. You should make ReddX a family affair. This is very family-friendly content that we're doing here. I assume y'all are grown, so that's cool. Shouts out to them for shouting me out to their relatives. That's the big brain play. I've been a fan of these Reddit stories for a while, and I just realized that I have a Legbeard story. Oh, God. So one night, my family was going to my brother's apartment for nachos and karaoke. Seems oddly specific, but all right. As we're walking into the building, I passed by the Legbeard in question. I had never seen her before, but she winked at me. Well, she attempted to wink at me. It was like a crazy over-the-top face twitch. Yeah, that's how they do it in the animes. That's like the kawaii come hither wink. You just twitch your face really hard. I will not give a description because it's not important. Bro, hold up, pause, wait. Kinda is though. Come on, fill me with that cringe. Not that like looks are everything or anything like that, but sometimes it can really add to the cringe factor, and that's what we're all here for, isn't it? But anyways, she wasn't really my type. I'm not really the most handsome guy myself. What is important is I'm socially awkward. A weirdo who had to fend off a stranger who, as it turned out, was married, but I'm getting ahead of myself. As it turns out, Legbeard was sister-in-law's friend. Birds of a feather. So as I'm talking to my brother's stepson, she walks up and interrupts very rudely, not trying to join the conversation, but trying to end the conversation. I was annoyed, but tried not to be rude in return. Yeah, hey, two people that I don't know, can I come up and steer the ship? I see you guys are talking about something that I'm personally not interested in, so can I just crap all over that? No, please leave me alone. But you know, you gotta fit into the social conventions and try and play nicey nice. But Legbeard walks up and she says, hey, are you my brother? Oh my God, she's British too. OP. I guess so. I tried to go back to my conversation, but she insisted on not letting me talk. This became a theme. If I wanted to sit, no, instead I needed to go dance with her. If I wanted to talk to someone, I needed to talk to her. At one point, I hid in the bathroom just to get some peace. The bathroom is a really good hiding place, isn't it? And then when you come out, if she tries to talk to you again, you can just insist on talking about your stool. Like, I got a picture on my phone. You want to see? It's huge. I had tried to be nice, but I was tired. The straw that broke the camel's back came when I was trying to sit on the couch, and she started to get uncomfortably close. I moved away as if to say, I'm not interested in that, but she moves even closer. Legbeard.
Viking King, what makes you happy?
OP. Personal space. Good answer. I move away again. She gets annoyed and moves closer again. Legbeard.
No, what makes you happy?
I understood the question, you lunk. OP. Look, I'm socially awkward and I'm not comfortable with you getting so close. She hangs her head.
Okay, I'm sorry.
She gets up and goes over to my sister-in-law and tells her that she wants to leave. Now, if that was where the story ended, I probably wouldn't be sharing this, but sometimes life likes to play a little game called Screw You, Viking King. Yeah, me and life haven't played that game in a little while. It's not one of my favorites. She comes back this time with a man. A skinny Hispanic man with a look in his eye that says, I've seen too much crap and I'm done. We just create space and spend time with my family, but then it happened. The reason that I'm posting this. She comes over and insists that
I meet someone.
Legbeard.
Viking King, this is my husband. Husband, this is Viking King.
In my head, I'm wondering what kind of family drama this woman is trying to drag me into. OP, hi, nice to meet you. Husband, what's up, Holmes? Legbeard.
Viking King, we really need to stop doing this.
At this point, I was just done being nice. OP, I'm not doing anything. I came to my brother's home to spend some time with my family, and you refuse to leave me alone. I tried to be nice, but some people make it really hard to be nice. I walked away and refused to talk to her for the rest of the night. Not the most dramatic story, but it's only now that it is set in that I had half of my night interrupted because a Legbeard was trying to make her husband jealous, and that annoys me more than anything. That is a really weird play. She just desperately wants two men to fight over her. But the husband seems pretty chill. Granted, he only said one word, but he's invited to the cookout. Unfortunately, for some reason, unbeknownst to me and possibly even himself, he has attached himself to Legbeard, who, yes, despite the extreme lack of descriptors, I do have to call a Legbeard. She got that sense of entitlement, she got that delusion of grandeur, just a sprinkling of predatory behavior. That is Legbeard fare if I've ever seen it. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't have given this woman the time of day, especially with the way that you're introduced. Ugh, that is the worst foot to start off on. You come over here interrupting my conversation and then just follow me around like a lost puppy all night. Go take a flying leap. I got time. OP being socially awkward or not, be damned. She's the one who made this socially awkward, so good. I'm glad she got told off. Hopefully some of those words, a little bit of that wisdom will manage to trickle its way down through her extremely thick skull, but I do have my doubts. Anyways, we got one other Legbeard story to get through today, so let's jump into that, and then I get out of here. Legbeard Sociology professor wants to deball all men. Yeah, we've been here once before. I do recall. Warning, some not safe for work, obviously. You guys remember Nadia, the castration beard? Yeah, this is like that, except instead of being a student at a college, she's a teacher at the college, which pretty much makes it far worse. But I guess we'll see what our higher institutions of learning are teaching people these days. Oh, God. Hi again, folks. It's me, Frecklehead451, with another community college neckbeard story. Although this story is about a Legbeard sociology professor and the antics that she pulled in our sociology class. But first, let's meet the players. OP, well, you've met me already. Let me interject there and say no, that I haven't, but it is lovely to meet you. My name is Brandon Dayton. People sometimes call me ReddX or Red on the internet. I'm a dog person. I enjoy punk rock and long walks on the beach. I'm also quite known for reading stories out of order, particularly if they have Legbeard in the title. I can't help myself but jump on it. But yes, we will probably get to Frecklehead's community college neckbeards posts at some point in the future. Anywho, at the time I was 18 years old and going to college. I had red hair and a stocky frame. At the time, I'd also recently started wearing glasses because I have crappy eyesight. Feminancy, our sociology professor Legbeard. She's in her early 50s at least, smokes like a factory, and often rants to us students about her personal life while not letting us ask questions about the actual material. Oh boy, you gotta pay for this? Mom, my mom. One of the greatest people I've ever known and my greatest supporter throughout my college journey. She is the main source of advice in this story, and all the others, as I spill the tea to her about everything that happened at school. Oh, spill the tea? Maybe he's not paying for college. Maybe he's British. Maybe we get to do the British Legbeard again. I think it is just the new Legbeard voice now. It seems to vibe with people for some reason. Like I said, the channel has a life of its own. I'm just here to guide it somewhat. But indeed, here is our story. This took place a semester after the incident with Mythbeard, a story that can be found here, not yet, in an intro-level sociology course. I have no idea what I was getting into with this class, but I soon saw a demonstration of why one should never bring their personal problems to work with them. Maybe if I just go into work and tell my students about all my life problems, they can fix them. That's just like the people that post their life problems on Reddit, isn't it? Oops, I better not talk about that. I'm gonna run out of content. Get over our relationship advice. They're like, I want to divorce my husband. Okay, bitch, we'll do it. You don't need my permission. I'm full of it, man. I think I'm finally waking up. Our professor, Feminancy, the name will make sense soon, was a nice lady. At least at first. She didn't look like your typical Legbeard either. More like a sexually frustrated librarian. That's cool. With a penchant for smoking more than could possibly be healthy. She had limp blonde hair that she tried to keep in a fluffy ponytail, watery bluish-green eyes that constantly squinted at the projector behind those narrow little glasses with the chain, and a skinny body that was constantly wearing floral print dresses, a white cardigan, it was close to summer by then, and a sensible pair of wedge sandals. See, now that is a thorough description. It doesn't have to be anything bad. I bet 20, 30 years ago, Feminancy was just, quite a sight to behold. Of course, now she's pushing 50 and prospects are kind of dwindling, but she's gonna make that her students' problems. It's not my problem, it's our problem. So yeah, a pretty harmless looking older lady. And when I say older, I mean in her mid-50s, because to someone who had only been 18 for several months, mid-50s is pretty old. Hey man, I'm like over halfway there, so I don't know how to feel about that. As I was saying, Feminancy was fine at first. She engaged us with interesting material, such as a documentary about the Stanford prison experiment, which is a great thing to read about if you haven't yet. And she was available to answer questions about the textbook and such, since we had access to it online, and often had trouble with the website for it. Online textbook, I bet you're still paying a couple $100 for it though, right? God damn! The greatest scam ever conceived. But I get off topic. However, About a month in, things started getting hairy. I hope you don't mean that literally. Fam and Nancy came into class one day dreadfully upset and basically refused to teach us anything. And when we asked what was going on, she informed us that
her husband had left her last night for another man.
Was her husband the skinny Mexican and they ran off with Viking beard? All these stories are interconnected. What a tangled web we weave. Whoa! Having gotten telling glimpses of her style of marriage and parenting, my classmates and I were not entirely sympathetic. She'd never brought it into the classroom before, so none of us bothered about it that much. She was probably just upset. However, after that day, she came in nearly every class period. The class ran on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and she would complain about how
her husband either refused to divorce her or refused to give her any financial support.
She was making quite enough to live on teaching, and most of her children were grown and had left to start families of their own, so none of us were quite sure what her problem was. I ain't a lawyer. I would sign the paper just to get her out of my life and stuff like that, but then maybe that does come with alimony or something like that, depending on how much the dude is making. Dudes get pretty screwed during divorce proceedings. Thankfully, there's no divorce in the Philippines. Bet you didn't know that. If you didn't know, you know now. So wifey and I are together forever. The government's like, oh, you got marital problems? Work it out. We don't care. After a few weeks of complaining about her
confused
husband, I apologize to my LGBTQ plus readers. Nobody should be referring to you as confused in any way if you aren't actually confused. Fem and Nancy came in one day in a delirious state of joy. Turns out her husband
saw the error of his ways and left his side piece for good.
And we thought, great, now maybe she'll stop making us listen to her soap opera of a life and actually teach us some freaking sociology. Nope. I know you probably didn't realize this at 18, OP, but a broken marriage generally stays pretty broken. You don't fix it by just walking back in and going, everything's okay now. You gotta put in some serious work if you actually want to fix it, which ain't gonna happen over a day or a week or a month. It takes years. Anyways, the next week, of course, it was back to,
my husband wants to get a divorce so we can marry his side piece.
She never referred to her husband's boyfriend by any other name, just side piece. Like a bucket at KFC, boy. She also tried to convince us that she was doing the right thing by refusing to grant the divorce because her husband was just completely confused in what he truly wanted and needed a
strong, independent woman
to show him the way. Strong, independent woman that apparently does need a man. Truth is, you don't need no man. You can go out there and get it yourself. But it is nice to have somebody by your side. If that person actually wants to be by your side. If they don't, then holding them there is gonna do nothing. Ugh. Her next remarks scarred me for life. I paraphrased due to, I can't feckin' remember.
If I had any political say, I would pass a law that requires every man in the country to be castrated and only allowed to perform menial labor. Women are much more equipped for political and business ventures than men, so they should be able to take all the positions of power.
Jesus Christ. Wow. In front of a class of students. Wow is all I can really say. At least they're smart enough to not like absorb any of that. They're like, that sounds crazy. Which it absolutely is. Needless to say, we were stunned. Bear in mind, half of the class consisted of dudes, most of whom were freshmen, and I'm sure some of them had to seek therapy over being told that they ought to be deprived of their manhood and any sense of dignity. Oh, see, that's why they were shocked, because they're freshmen. If they're like upperclassmen or something, then they've already had this message beaten into their brain and they'll sit there and self-flagellate. At least that's what I think about college. I've never been to college. I'm just spitballing here. I see nothing but horror stories, so my view is a little bit skewed. And the last time I went college bashing, I had some people telling me that, actually college is pretty cool, depending on which one you go to. So do realize that this is all in fun. It's just jokes. I don't actually know anything. Oh, but Legbeard goes on.
That's why I voted for Hillary, and anyone who didn't is a traitor to American values.
You vote. Did she realize how little an amount of sense she was making? Lady basically said,
"No rights for Trump supporters."
And anyways, that might just be me, but when I was growing up, you were never supposed to tell people who you voted for. Big no-no, very rude. See, I don't care who you voted for, honestly. I just laugh at the fact that you vote at all. If we could convince everybody to not vote, we would send a huge message to the government. But people have had their minds twisted, and the government's like, yeah, you could pick whoever you want between these two. That's ridiculous. I'm voting for Vermin Supreme. That guy's cool. So we ignored her little tirade until she finally cooled off and went back to talking about sexual orientation as a sociological concept. Surprise, surprise! She believes the LGBTQ plus community is unnatural and should be shut down. Ah, TERF, or trans-exclusionary radical feminist for the uninitiated. But things do go quiet for a couple of weeks, with her only occasionally bringing up her radical, feminist, National Socialist beliefs. See why the name makes sense now? Oh, Feminancy. Yeah, I see where you're going with that. Then came the day of the first test. She gave us several tests throughout the semester, besides midterms and finals, and I was one of the first ones to finish this particular one. For context, she was sitting at the desk in the front of the room, and I was sitting on the side of the room nearest the door. My vision isn't the greatest, so I have to sit certain places in the classroom in order to see the board clearly. Normally, this would be the back of the classroom, since my glasses prescription for nearsightedness grossly overcompensated. But Feminancy disallowed me from sitting back there since it was
detrimental to class participation.
You sit right up here while I tell you about my husband who wants to leave me. At least she's not making any notes on the board for that. Or is she? The point is, I couldn't see much of Feminancy was doing behind her desk while we took the test. As I was saying, I was one of the first ones to finish, and Feminancy said that we could leave after we turned it in. People were going by and placing their tests face down on her desk, and I did the same. However, Feminancy pointed out that I had neglected to put my name on all 6 pages of the test, so I had to get a pencil out and do it. Well, that might have been a mistake, depending how good your score was. Also, is she checking? I guess she's checking, because dude's placing them face down. She insisted on pencil, even though I always use pens, because pencils tend to smudge more for me since I'm left-handed. Anyway, I'd moved out of the way of some departing students, so that put me on the end of the desk, parallel with Feminancy. When I looked up to ask her something, I got a sheer eyeful of something that I will never forget. Sounds like this was a pretty unforgettable class. Feminancy was watching hardcore gay pornography on the school computer. Not even 6 feet away from her students. I saw everything, including the fact that this sexually frustrated, anti-gay, anti-Trump teacher had her hand up her skirt. It's research! Get out of here! I froze. I had seen too much, and she knew that I'd seen too much. I just told her, "Have a nice day," and left. Oh, that's such an awkward interaction. That's the kind of stuff I live for, man. She's gonna lay awake at night for years thinking about that moment. It will haunt her until her dying day. And that brings me so much joy for some reason. When I finally managed to process the whole thing, I did something that I usually never do. I called my mom in the middle of the school day to vent a little. "Mom, what's wrong?" My mom always assumed that if I called her way before it was time for her to pick me up, something had gone horribly wrong. "OP, Mom, I just saw something unbelievable. Seriously, you're not gonna believe this. I just caught my sociology professor watching porn." "Mom, what?" "OP, worse, she was watching it on the school computer." I decided not to tell her that the professor had also been masturbating, as she already sounded like she was about to pop a blood vessel in shock. "Mom, oh jeez, I'm sorry you had to see that, honey. Are you okay?" "OP, yeah, pretty much." It was just really shocking. I'll be fine though. I've got one more class to get through today, and it's my creative writing class, so I shouldn't get too traumatized. "Mom, if you say so, let me know when you want me to pick you up, okay?" "OP, I will." "Mom, oh shoot, I gotta go. Your dad's calling me. Talk to you later, okay?" "OP, yeah, okay, Mom. Love you." "Mom, love you too. Talk to you later." "OP, bye." We went over it again as she picked me up from school several hours later, and she still could not believe it. Both my parents wanted me to report it, but I reminded them that A, no one was going to believe me since I was the only one who saw it, and nobody in that class actually talked to me enough outside the classroom for me to be justified in confiding in them, and B, I had made so many complaints about Mythbeard and other nasties in the past that I had been told to stop coming to the Dean of Students' office. That doesn't seem like good policy, man. Because I was just making too many problems for them. God, is that the laziest out ever? I'm sorry you're being harassed or uncomfortable, but you're just making a lot of problems. Can you stop coming? And then you go above his head. Make it the entire school district's problem at that point. So yeah, OP decided that they were just kind of stuck with that knowledge. She ended up failing me from the class, because I did end up skipping a whole bunch of classes just to be away from her. However, she did give me a much lower grade than I should have gotten based on the work that I did, as I still completed my reading and writing assignments for class even when I didn't show up. And that's the story of how I kept my feminazi homophobic sociology teacher watching hardcore gay porn on the school computer. Fun. Oh, that is fun. What a wild ride, man. There are some really good educators out there, and I think it's a shame that they are kind of overshadowed by creeps like this that are basically out there just scarring your kids. Pay to send your kids to college and have them scarred for life. What madness is this? She's obviously got a lot of misplaced rage, and obviously should not be molding young minds in any sort of way. Like, she can't even mold her own mind. I mean, tales like this are one of the big reasons that I decided, college probably just ain't for me. I got my, Montgomery GI Bill, but I'm just gonna go to trade school. That's fine. I refuse to spend 2 to 4 years subjected to this. What the hell even is this? Jesus. I don't know if I would have brought the information to my mom. Like, my mom and I are close, but I probably just would have repressed it, There's no sense in both of us being scarred for life. God damn. Maybe it was research at the end of the day. She's like, wants to see what this husband of hers is chasing after or something like that. I do always try to assume the best about people, but man, this woman is making it super hard. She's like, yeah, let's just castrate a whole gender. It's like, you understand the human population is over if you follow through on that plan. Which might not necessarily be a bad thing, but I don't think that is your intention. So yeah, the rational part of my brain wants to kick back and laugh at this woman who is obviously crazy on many levels, but then there's also the sympathetic part of my brain that's like, her personal life is falling apart and she couldn't take time off from teaching to deal with that because otherwise, you know, people end up living in the street and such. And that's the sad flip side, you know, that's the r/a boring dystopia side. So she's basically had a mental breakdown in the classroom because she couldn't afford to get help somewhere else, which puts quite a damper on things. I'd rather just be able to laugh at it, but I have been trying to view it from both sides, and that does include the beard side. So yeah, I am a little bit sympathetic at the very least, but then that sympathy kind of goes mostly out the window when she's like, men should just be carrying heavy things, castrate them and make them do menial labor. I'm like, what? You don't want ReddX anymore? Okay. She probably don't watch ReddX though. She probably wouldn't get it. God damn. But I know that you guys get it, and I hope that you like, comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy the stories we had here today. My God, this video ran longer than I thought. I guess I did a lot of talking in it, but it might be a good like flip side to the more quiet videos that I've been doing recently. We've also, of course, got some links in the description for you to check out. There is a lot of stuff down there, like a lot of stuff. But I'd especially like to point out my social medias. Discord, we're having a server banner contest there. Twitter, sometimes I post and stuff. Facebook, mostly just for people that message me. I haven't been posting much content on there lately, but sometimes I do, if it's not safe for YouTube. We've also got my Patreon. Yes, see all these names? These are my gorgeous patrons, and I would like to thank them all, but especially Robert Waits, TSM Kirby, Teddy the Police, Delicious Jelly Donut, Candy Sora, Fire Drake, Livison, Silent Revolver, Zathras, Zero MMX, Aaron W, Aaron Lennox, Fisher Diggy, OG James Cook, JM Coon, Jerry, John Hero, KK, Miss Monday, Little Lone Wolf, Vanilla Mel, Melgar the Destroyer, Mr. J, my boy Nat One Nick, Lady Nix, Katykins and Elizabeth, Sidestep, Redwind, Rousedower, Cider Drinker, Serrated Ash, Siegfried, Staples, Yeet, Synaptic, Boomstick, Brilliant Tamago, Tato Ferret, That Duck and Bug, Fusky, A-Roxers, Cake Jerry, John Indoors, Leon Embers, Mark 211, Maybe Next Time, Naga Viper, Organic Cam, Princess Rosalie, Ghosty, The Last Shinobi, the Maestro himself, Zuka, Cervantes, and we've got a couple of new friends joining us today, which is just beautiful. I think we're on a 2 or 3 day streak now, and I am just living for it. So, Crafty Kitty Cat, Ashley T, Goose, thank you guys all for joining the Patreon, getting it in right at the end of the month. Boy, I appreciate that more than you know. So, big ups to all 3 of you guys. Welcome to the family. I hope you'll get on Discord. Let me know when you get in there, and then I can like assign you the patron role and whatnot. It does have a few benefits, one of which is hanging out with me on a real-time basis, which I don't know why you'd want to do, but people seem to want to do it, so there's that. If you could join these lovely people in supporting the channel monetarily, that is absolutely huge. I would thank you very, very much in advance, but if you can't do it right now, then don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. Because really, the views is how my beard stays bothered. In order to join us again, you need to keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't eat week-old mayonnaise. I'm for reals about this. I learned a hard lesson, I swear. My hands are still itchy. God damn. But also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe watching some more ReddX videos. Hey. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I will see you in the next one. And until then, friends, bye-bye.